Our word don't come back void either. We promise to always have it as our aim to bring you back better than you came. And that's what we intend to do today, y'all. It's your girl Tamara Fair on the air, and I am proudly posted with the entire brunch bunch, y'all. It is Wednesday. You know it's security day. We got our resident guru in the building. What up?
Well, hey.
Hey, you know what? I am like lamenting over the fact that there's a big hurricane. Like none of its kind has ever happened. I mean, this kind of hurricane has never happened before, and it is hitting Jamaica. It is going there now. So I'm looking at my ring cameras, right? And the winds are blowing, but you know what? I'm not worried. You know why? Because of what I just told you. God is about to blow my mind, and it's about to miss us in Jamaica. So to all my brethren in Jamaica, big up, yes.
Booyaka.
There you go, y'all. We got a great show for you today, as we do every day. It is Wednesday. No, it's not Hookup Wednesday. So for all of you all who are looking to be hooked up by Marcel, this ain't that. But we are going to hook you up with some resources and some critical information that you definitely need to level up. So don't go nowhere. We got way more to share right here on Inspiration 1390.
Hey, it's your main man, Action Jackson, and the business.
What's up, Tina? What's up, staying in your lane? Hey. Thank you, hugs to you staying in your lane. Hey, Crystal, what's happening? So I heard that Morgan is in Jamaica. Is she back yet? I don't know, but I see the winds are blowing. Hey, Daryl. Real Deal says hi. Yep, I know you are. Thank you. What's up? You are the real deal. So let me know if she's back, because I was worried about her. She texted me and told me that she was there. So we are. I don't know if you guys tuned in. For those of you who tuned in on social media, sometimes you miss the things that are going on the radio. So yesterday we made an announcement that Lisa Bellamy, who was a new artist, and we played her consistently. Now she is charting, and she's charting favorably on the Billboard chart. And she's won an iHeart Award. So guess what? Things and magic can happen. All you have to do is keep dreaming. But you know, for those who believe that nothing comes to a dreamer but a dream, a lie. All you got to do is do the work, and I promise your dreams will come true. What's up, K-Ray? Oh, no, that's Kara. What's going on? I was on 87th Street the other day, and I started to stop by, but it was a lot going on in the streets. Speaking of a lot going on in the streets, here in Chicago, we were getting ready for the NASDAQ. I mean, NASDAQ. I'm trading on that. I'm trading money on the car.
Trading on that.
There you go. So a lot of the traffic has been crazy downtown, right? And so I wanted today's topic about today's social media topic is about how you handle major traffic. Now, for me, I turn on my radio and I have a party, because if I don't have a party, I will reach in my glove compartment. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But I know that road rage is real, right? So how do you deal with road rage when you are in major traffic? And I'm talking to all of my believers that are listening in, who hear my voice, that are in New York, Atlanta, Nashville, Chicago, major cities, because when I went to Nashville a couple of weeks ago, I went 3 times, and the traffic is so outrageous. Same like New York. New York is historical. With the traffic, and Atlanta has become like a major hub, which brings major traffic. Right. People have like traffic overload, and by the time they get to their destination, they've lost their mind. So you don't, like, you're at a meeting, you're like, well, who are you?
Correct.
You don't even know the person that you made the meeting with, because they done changed their whole countenance. How do you deal with traffic? So Basketball Mom, who is also Tanya, my bestest friend, she says she sits still and quiet and definitely don't blow your horn. A lot of people do blow their horns. You know what else people do when they're in traffic and they're at the corner and they're at a red light or something, and they see people like standing, they lock their doors? And do you think that's rude?
Well, safety first, right?
I know you're going to say that.
And some people just look straight ahead like they don't even see you.
What's up, Lero?
They look straight ahead. You blowing, you doing all this, they looking straight ahead. Won't even look to your right or left.
They sure won't. But what do when you're in traffic?
called the Brunch Bunch.
So the question was posed to me in the studio by Young Justice. He said, Timmy, you don't know what Project 2025 is? And it dawned on me that if I didn't know, which I did, just so you know, I did know. But if I didn't know, maybe other people don't know. And of course, you know, it's our aim to level you up and educate you each show. So what is Project 25 and why is it alarming? So the general election is still about 4 months away. And with the latest poll showing an incredibly tight race, anything can happen in that time. But that hasn't stopped former President Donald Trump, who in concert with top Republicans and conservative figures and organizations already sketched out a plan to reshape the federal government in their image. And you might remember in his last administration, democracy was at stake. And a lot of Americans were alarmed because they thought that democracy and the Democratic, now I'm not talking about parties, I'm talking about the actual way that we do business. Correct. And the way that we go at stake. So the plan is called Project 2025 and a collection of policy transition proposals that outline how should Trump win the November election, he can vastly remake the federal government most effectively to carry out extremist far-right agenda. Well, it's not enough for conservatives to win elections, the project website states. If we are going to rescue the country from the grip of radical left, we need both a governing agenda and the right people in place to carry out that agenda on day one of this conservative administration. Well, this is the goal of the 2025 presidential transition project. So what exactly is Project 2025? Well, simply put, Project 2025 is a massive 920-page document that I suggest you carve out 100 pages per person, get you about 9 or 10 people, and all of you all read 100 pages so that you understand what the agenda looks like. But it actually, in brief, outlines exactly what the next Trump presidency would look like. This doesn't just include policy proposals like immigration actions, education proposals, and economic plans, but rather a portrait of the America that conservatives hope to implement in the next Republican administration, be it Trump or someone else. Well, the document is a thorough blueprint on how exactly to carry out such a vision through recommendations for key White House staff, cabinet positions, Congress, federal agencies, commissions, and boards. Well, the plan goes as far to outline a vetting process for appointing and hiring the right people at every level of government to carry out this vision. Now, key words there, the right people. Right for who? Is it right for people who look like you? Is it right for people who look like us? Or is it right for everybody? Well, let's continue. So the opening essay of the plan, written by Heritage Project President David D. Roberts, succinctly summarizes the goal of Project 2025, a promise to make America a conservative nation. That's code for communism. No. To do so, the next presidential administration should focus on 4 broad fronts that will decide America's future. The 4 fronts include: number 1, restore the family as the centerpiece of American life and protect our children, which sounds great for everyone, right? Mm-hmm. Number 2, dismantle the administrative state and return self-governance to American people. That sounds great. Number 3, defend our nation's sovereignty, borders, and bounty against global threats. And number 4, and the last front, is to secure our God-given individual rights to live freely, what our Constitution calls the blessings of liberty. And that number 4 is where it gets ambiguous. How do we effectively do that? Now, I really want to hear from my Gen Zers today. What do you think, or do you think that Project 2025 is a threat to America or a blessing for America? I can't hear you, because if I can't hear you, then of course the believers can't hear you.
I think it's a threat.
Why do you think it's a threat?
Because many of the views that they're using to implement, it's very nationalistic, it's very narrow-minded. America is supposed to be the land of the free, home of the brave. We're supposed to have religious freedom. We're supposed to have freedom of choice, as long as it's not illegal, as long as it's not harmful for others. This entire project will completely negate years and years of efforts, plans, efforts, going all the way back to civil rights, Jim Crow, before that even. it'll just completely erase so much progress socially that has been done in the country.
Well, I think that this Project 2025 is already underway. First of all, your commentary was excellent. And Project 2025 already has its teeth in the American transition. So in the form of anti-abortion advocacy, voter suppression, anti-climate policies, and the anti-LGBTQ advocacy. So a lot of people, particularly minorities who have gains and have fought for those gains, as you speak of, Justice, for the last 100 years, and through the civil rights acts and movements, have gotten those gains, are starting to see them repealed and repressed. Yep. And the repression is really just the forefront for the repeal. So I kind of definitely agree with you to that fact. But the problem is not the problem. The solution is, we're a solution-based show. So the solution is that we are still a democracy, and we are still a government of the people, for the people, and most importantly, by the people. So if the people want it, then what do they have to do? Make the noise, because the squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Yep.
We have to make sure that if Project 2025 is not in alliance with what you want your neighborhoods, your businesses, your family life, your educational systems, and your ecosystems for everything else, medical systems, your food, and what's that? Not food deserts. Well, not food deserts, but actual.
Well, they are food deserts, but access
to exactly. Thank you for that. Then you have to make noise. You can't make noise in your kitchen and think you're going to affect change, because you're only going to literally hear the people that are also in your kitchen. And guess what?
Or in your head.
All you kitchenette politicians, understand this. Take your message outside of the kitchen. Get to the people that you elected. These are not forms of deity. And when I'm talking about these, I'm talking about politicians are not forms of deity. They're not many gods. These are people that are supposed to, been elected to, and you entrusted to make change the way you want to see change. The only way they know what you want to see is if you do what? Tell them.
Well, I've said on this show for years, I've never hired anybody who didn't do the job and didn't get fired. We keep hiring elected officials. They don't do their job, but we don't fire them.
I know, but you know what? To me, now Project 2025 is something that we have to peel back all the layers. But to me, I think that we need to concentrate on really revamping our Constitution. Because if the forefathers who drafted this Constitution did not make arrangements for or see in the future that this could be a possibility and a threat to the way that America does life in America, to have a convicted felon still be able to run the country, run for the biggest country in the world. Just face it, it's not just in the country, it's in the world.
The biggest country in the world?
No, I'm saying that office.
Oh.
That office
well,
is the
it's one of the most, and I've heard the news change their language. They say one of the most powerful nations in the world.
I'm talking about the office.
The office.
I'm just talking about the office.
But if we're not the most powerful, then that ain't the most powerful office either. It's one of the most.
But that was also one of your newscasters that thought that.
Well, in that case, it was, I guess, subjective. But when you think, it made me think yesterday. We grow up and we thought, we were shown when I was little, to feed the children commercials, that Africa was nothing. You never wanted to be there. It wasn't thriving. It was just huts and naked people and kids that couldn't eat, right? But that wasn't the true narrative. Then I was looking at how Takara lives in Canada, and she's talking about all of these great benefits. And I'm like, oh, and then in India, you can go and for $3,000 get every health checkup you want.
Liposuction?
No, not cosmetic, real health stuff. Lord Jesus. But it's
like, literally.
But it's like, this clearly is not the greatest country.
I did not say that. I want to be very intentional and very clear about my message. What I said was the office of the United States presidency is the most powerful office in the world. If you ever look at old movies or World War II, the reoccurring question says, what is America doing?
Yeah.
And the rest of the world takes its lead from America. Now, however contentious those relationships are in the internal state, I'm talking about the office itself is the most influential office in the world. Now,
yeah.
so
for now.
those things are changing. But as I'm speaking, and I'm speaking right now, so I'm speaking about right now.
I'm just saying, but when you talk about this, what's happening here, with what's happening to Trump is weakening our country,
Absolutely.
right? And how
it's making us look like a laughing stock throughout the world.
we like the couple, the toxic couple that when they come in the room, they're gonna fight, they're gonna argue. You don't get in their mess because you gonna be in more trouble because they're gonna lead together. No, you get in there and on their mess, they gonna whoop you. They gonna cut you out. That's what Democrats and Republicans are. Toxic. This is what our country is looking like, a toxic.
Do you think we need new parties now?
I think we need new party leadership. And I don't think we should be a two-party system. There should be an alternative option. It shouldn't be just
a viable option. Because we have alternative options. They're just not viable. They're just not popular.
But
the question is, how do we make those parties more popular, more viable?
Well, when Brother Kennedy win this election, because Trump and Biden are not the choices of the people.
Oh, they just X each other out.
He is, a mentor of mine taught me when two men are fighting, the third man wins.
You better come on with them.
You
said a word right there.
Kennedy polls have risen to double digits.
Well, you know what? The reason his polls have risen to double digits because people are tired of this infighting. Yeah. We have to have some solidarity. Loyalty goes a long way, but so does joy.
That's right.
And so, you know what? We talked about joy. We talked about Lisa Belling. Now let's do it, y'all. It's joy. Comes in the morning, this afternoon. So you should have been done got it. It's Inspiration 1390.
You should have been done got it.
You should have been done got it.
I brought you a donut.
Nope, I went to Chick-fil-A.
Oh, no. I made sure I brought you a donut.
I don't like them donuts with the smush in the middle.
No, this ain't nothing in the middle. This is the same donut I always get.
I'm having liposuction today. No, sir.
Well, good. You eat this donut, they go suction it out of there.
No.
What's up, Zoe?
What's up, Dana?
You all right?
Oh, my goodness. I have a liposuction every other day. I'm not eating your fattening foods. No, thank you. Okay, y'all, how do you handle road rage?
I don't know if I'm tweaking. It just seems so loud in here today.
No, but I can't hear none of y'all except them. How do you handle road rage?
Well, this was definitely up. Because when Tabby was talking, I'm like, why do it sound like I hear her?
Is that why you kept pausing me? How you come late and then gonna pause me?
No, I was telling you to come on. We was late.
You don't tell me nothing. I'm trying to figure out when he become the boss of me.
I got a story I want to talk about.
Well, let's talk about it.
But I didn't want to.
Should have been done got it. That's right, standing your lady. You should have been done got that joy.
Okay.
Y'all sound like my mom.
Right into what's going on. Oh, poor Zoe with the walker.
How you look like that? So cute, and you got a walker.
I mean, just because you got a walker,
her face is glowing.
You was on the sick and shut
in DJ
list.
Brandon.
Now you just on the sick list. Okay, we got you.
She ain't shut in no more.
Hello. That's right. T Breezy in the building. So guys, put your comments in the thread. How do you handle road rage? Or do you even get to the point where you are handling that is rage? Or traffic is just something that you have dealt with so long that you know how to deal with?
Okay.
Now, when I'm at the red lights, I see people losing their minds. Even they're driving down 94, they're losing their minds. They're talking to themselves. They got masks on by themselves. Now, those are the people that I actually talk about. If you got a mask on in your car and you by yourself, seriously, it's dementia. Who you gonna catch something from? And it's not an Uber. It's not a Lyft.
Right. I see it all the
time. They
time.
didn't just come in or out. It's just you got the mask on. But that ain't what I'm talking about. I am talking about how do you handle road rage?
Five, 4,
Ride with your pistol on the
3, 2,
on the. Oh, right.
And they just like be like,
Where's the action, Jackson?
I'll tell you what's going on.
Take a sip of this Tennessee.
So what's going on is today is Wild Wednesday.
Okay, well, tell us something new.
Oh,
I mean,
y'all wilding. But listen, I want to talk about this because it's been going viral. At the BET Awards, which I did not watch, Taraji P. Henson was the host.
Yes.
And she did a monologue where she came out into the audience and she was talking to some influencers on the road. So, and Keith Lee was one of the influencers. Do you know who Keith Lee is?
Of course, he's the food critic.
The food critic. So if you hadn't watched
I'm
it,
just trying to figure out why you thought I didn't know who.
well, of course I know. You watched the BT Awards, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Oh, well, I'll be John Brown. So it's been going viral. Usually I don't get into entertainment news. This would be a story of yours, but I wanted to talk about this because in the video, she gave him the flower, confused him with a person. He threw the flower down, did a video, but then he did a video to say why he did it. So Taraji kind of clapped back and shared her thoughts. So Taraji P. Henson confused influencer Jordan Howlett, who they say looked like No, Method Man, which he don't look nothing like Method Man to me. I'm like, who the heck? Are they blind? But she confused the Method Man lookalike Jordan Howlett with food critic Keith Lee at the BET Awards and it made for quite the embarrassing and viral moment. Now, during the segment, Taraji was giving people their flowers to celebrate them and spoke to Howlett, believing he was Keith Lee. Now, Howlett uncomfortably laughed and pointed to Lee, who was sitting next to him, leading Henson to say, and I quote, "I'm so sorry." And then she said, "I got caught up in my own inner monologue." Lee ultimately accepted the flower the actress gave him. Now, Lee is a influencer food critic. Taraji B. Henson is an Oscar-winning actress. I just had to say that. He accepted the rose and then did a video of him dropping it on the floor. He captioned the video, and I quote, "Our name will be known in every room it's supposed to be, when it's supposed to be, how it's supposed, with no confusion. God is amazing." He issued a follow-up video on Monday and said, and I quote, "I am not upset at Taraji P. Henson by any stretch of the imagination. And not only that, in my opinion, she smoked it last night. The reason I did this had nothing to do with Taraji. The reason I did this is that I wholeheartedly believe it wasn't my rose. It wasn't my moment. It was given to me, but it wasn't mine," he continued. "I always say I don't want nothing that wasn't mine. I'm forever thankful for every room that I'm in. I was more than thankful and more than grateful to just sit there and enjoy the show." Lee also blamed the show's producers for the awkward moment, not the host herself. Henson, like others, thought Lee was doing a bit too much and addressed the video in an Instagram comment. And I quote, "Life really is too short for this behavior," she said. "He wasn't in his seat. They give celebrities assigned seats. I rehearsed all dang on day to go hit my mark, and that young man wasn't in his seat. So he missed his moment. His ego is hurt. He will be fine. I cleaned it up at the end of the show. No love lost here. Hashtag God bless."
Now that's what Taraji said.
That's what Taraji said to him. So the internet has been, fighting over who's right, who's wrong, whatever. But I just want to say, I think Keith Lee was wrong. And I think sometimes we use God and faith as an umbrella to cover up our egos and our mess, right? They moved him to this role to be a part of this monologue, but he sat in the wrong seat. So clearly the flower was for you because she mistakenly called somebody else your name. So why would you throw the flower on the floor and say, "Well, it wasn't for me, so I don't want it. What's mine is mine"? No, it was for you, bro.
But let's just say you accidentally got a flower. I mean, who throws a flower down? A flower ain't a bee. It ain't gonna sting you. A flower ain't a poisonous plant. It ain't gonna make you break out.
Yeah,
it's a flower.
And my thought was, even if, quote unquote, it wasn't your flower,
it is now.
It is now.
It is
Baby,
now.
So,
Baby back.
I'm like, what? I said, now I'm usually coming, but I did want to make sure that we kind of talk about this because and I wanted to know your thoughts. Did you think, and Taraji didn't even have to, I heard at the end of the award, she apologized for the mix-up. And he still went on and did the video.
Well, I'm a Keith Lee fan. In fact, I've been texting him and inboxing him and sliding in his DMs for like the last 3 months because I want him to go by Soulful, Chicago. But I love the way that he delivers even his negative reviews because it's always on a positive note. So this seems very out of character for him to act and behave the way he did by throwing something down. Because even when he has food and he won't say it's nasty, he'll just say it wasn't seasoned well or something in that vein, but never to make that vendor or that restaurant lose face.
Right.
He says it in a very positive way. Not only that, the places that he likes, he will always give them a 2,000, 3,000 cash donation, and it changes the business. So somebody who's a change agent like that to behave like that, somebody must have slipped him something.
Or you know what it is, like somebody Taraji said in her statement, ego. You know what? Sometimes we get too high on the horse, and you got to be brought back down. Unfortunately, we talked about this yesterday when we were in the hallway about people, because you know I can't stand an uppity Negro. You know, and I'm in these rooms, and when I see them acting
And
too
is that an oxymoron? I mean, like literally.
That ain't the word I use. I use my granny word too. But yeah, that I was a little disappointed in him for that, because I couldn't believe the behavior. And then we got to quit doing stuff for clout, right? And for views. And even though he took it down, but he literally, I watched video, he took the rose still on the row in the theater and threw it on the floor and said it wasn't for me. And the woman said your name.
She said your whole name.
Keith Lee, she just didn't know your face, and you can't expect her to know you.
Right, you just got
you
here.
got
You're like 11
followers.
years old or something. No.
Listen, Oprah has been racially profiled in stores, and she is one of the biggest names, I believe, in the world.
Yeah, but she didn't have her makeup on, so.
But it don't matter. It don't mean how big you are. Look, it don't matter how big you are.
Well, Oprah without makeup
you.
is a different person.
I mean, I know half of the women on my social media and that I know in life without makeup ain't the same person.
Well, let me tell you something. That's why I will not have a live without this filter.
You know what? But you can do it, Oprah. No, listen, but so we're praying for this. We go, we won't keep you abreast of the story because there ain't nothing to keep you abreast of. But I will say this: when God gives you a platform, and my pastor, shout out to my pastor. I'm glad Bishop David Ty Whitley. I was just sharing with him some of the great things that God has been doing and doors that have been opening. And he asked me a question: are you ready to receive this favor of God? And do you know how to handle it? And I was in my mind, I'm like, yeah, bro, what you mean? I know. And then it's like, you know what? That is a thing, because you got to stay grounded. No matter how blessed you are, how you can fall back down just as quick by allowing your ego.
And that could have been, that was obviously a blessing that he let slip through his hands. At the end of the day, they mentioned his name. He was in the place, and he was exposed probably some people that, for whatever reason, may have not known him. You know what I'm saying? And may have wondered, who's this guy? Who she mentioned? Who was that? So you got to be careful with that.
Because you're absolutely right, Stacey, because Taraji is a big name.
Yeah.
And the BET Awards is even bigger. Come on, bro. Yeah. Like, literally.
How many times has someone said a name, you be like, let me see who that person is?
Yes. Exactly. No.
I mean, it happened to me too many times. Whatever. I tell.
Ain't nobody talking about you.
I'm not talking about me crazy. Would you listen? Tamara swears she's a comedian. Now, look, I'm saying how I don't know people.
Right.
And you jokingly be like, how do you not know this person?
Yes.
But that.
Yes, you're right. Because he didn't know who Lil Durk was.
I didn't ask you to say who. I use an example. But that's the point I'm saying. I don't always know people, and I count it as a blessing, because sometimes I'm in rooms and I'm not thirsty because I don't know who the people are.
Well, that's true.
And so it helps.
And if you don't follow that, if you're not following food critics, if you're not even on Instagram, you might not know who Keith Lee is. But Keith Lee, you know who Taraji is.
Yeah.
And she might not have a beehive, but she might have something going on. People start.
She got a beehive.
Oh, you see what I'm saying?
Because Taraji P. Henson, honey, believe me, people follow her. Yeah. But you know what? Is it possible to get yourself to a level that other people have not achieved and still stay grounded? Is that possible? Or is
yes.
It is?
Yeah, I believe that too.
Well,
I believe that.
Pastor Mike says it's impossible. Let's do it.
No, he didn't. Oh my God. No,
he said, don't put me in that.
You cannot quote somebody like
that. Got cool. Y'all don't know, right? Got y'all talking, right? Okay, so Telio, you said, Telio said that was rude. How come you? Oh, I didn't power this up. Telio says that what Keith Lee did was rude, and it was rude. It was rude, and it was out of character for him, in my opinion. What's up, Modi? What's
Autumn
up, guys?
said she spelled celebrity intentional too when she put a comment. She put they give celebrity a sign C, not celebrities. I guess there's a difference.
What is the difference? Somebody educate.
Celebrities. They give celebrity that seat. You ain't a celebrity. You just an influencer. I think that gets misconstrued too. Just because you got 5 million followers on Instagram.
Let me get 5 million followers on Instagram. I'm gonna change my name. I ain't gonna know y'all when I come up in here. I'm gonna have flowers. I'm gonna have flower girls putting petals right in front of my feet. All that kind of
all
stuff.
that.
Literally. And I'm gonna have him let you talk to me.
Well, that question says, right.
Right, those are celebrities.
The Kardashians are celebrities or influencers? Because what's their talent? What is look up the literal definition of celebrity. Somebody look up the literal, here, I'll look it up myself. You want to get something done, do it yourself.
Hello.
The Kardashians are thieves too.
They're thieves?
Mm-hmm. They steal from every black brand they can.
Celebrity is a condition of fame and broad public recognition of a person or a group as a result of the attention given to them by mass media.
So it doesn't matter.
Right, it doesn't matter. So social media is not mass media.
It is becoming mass media.
No, but social media influencers can't always get like major news outlets to cover what they're doing or talk about them.
I agree with that.
Yeah, that's why I always make a difference. Like, Kardashians are celebrities or something like that. Famous person.
Right. Because if Donald Glover pull up in town, the news gonna report Donald Glover was in the city doing A, B, and C. If a social media influencer pull up in town, they got to pay a publicist to get some news to come out and cover it.
Depending on what they do.
Oh, you're right. Well, if anybody do anything great, you got to be a celebrity to make the news.
Something I gotta do on
Zoe, why we don't hear through the monitors?
I don't know what's going on.
What?
I come in here today and everything was just
Jacked up.
yeah.
They said they gonna make you work.
I'm like, come on now. Like, not today.
Hey guys, it's Tamara Fair
But,
from the Brunch Bunch.
Oh.
Now your home is not just a place.
I cannot. I cannot.
And
oh
cherished.
Lord, let me get
Anyway,
it.
what's up, Zach? What's going on, Zach?
Right.
So anywho, the question is, and actually Telio said that she does not, she was talking about road rage. Was that her? Or, yep, she said that she does not get road rage when someone is driving. She only gets road rage when someone is driving slow.
I don't get road rage.
You
But
never
I'm
get
a
road
horn
rage?
blower.
Well, that's what one person said. Oh, Tanya said, don't blow the horn.
Well, Jackson always said, I don't blow no horn because I don't like people blowing at me. I said, but I blow horns for several reasons. If you at the light and it turn green, you ain't move. I ain't gonna just sit there. If you about to cut me off or back into me, I'm blowing that horn.
Does that entice road rage? Does that entice road rage? Does that encourage
It
road
can for
rage?
some other people.
Because when I'm in the car and the horn honks, I'm screaming at him. Screaming.
Call Stacey, Chauncey.
He like, did you see what they did?
447-3344.
If I see you at the red light doing that and you and it turns green, I'm blowing my horn.
Attention entrepreneurs, it's your girl,
Entrepreneurs.
attorney India Rio, your one-stop shop.
Entrepreneurs.
So-
She's from St. Louis.
Sabrina said, I think ego happens on regular jobs. It does.
It definitely
It
does.
happens in the church when people get certain titles and positions. And we got to be very careful to get caught up. And it's funny because when we had MJ and then Valencia kind of got sick, one of the head security at my church and deacon would save us a parking spot in the parking lot. And somebody asked me Sunday, how do you get a park every Sunday? How do you make it back here? And I'm like, favor ain't fair.
Favor is fair.
But if I
Stop
pull
saying
up-
favor ain't fair. Favor is fair. Favor is a sign.
40
So it
seconds.
ain't fair because we don't all have the same favor.
Exactly. Favor is a sign. It's your favor. It's not justice's favor.
There it is. I like that. But can that still be not fair?
It's different levels of favor.
Yeah, because if it's not equal, it's not fair.
20 seconds.
But it can never be equal because your favor ain't my favor. My favor ain't
Well, I
Kathy's
mean,
favor.
but it's got to be specific to you. You live in your life. You're on your own journey. So the
That's
That's
things
why I
that
said it ain't fair because you ain't gonna get the same favor I'm getting.
3.
I'm gonna ask the artist who wrote that song. Favor ain't fair. but-
You're rocking with the brunch bunch right here on this Vision 30. She said
Give it to her. Give it to her. Give it to her.
It's time for Stacey Chauncey in the building.
Boy, I wish y'all could see what's happening up in here, guys. It's going down.
I don't know what's up. You know what?
It's the pre-4th of July.
Pre-holiday.
Pre-holiday stuff
It's y'all
going on.
pre-holiday.
Y'all.
Yeah, the 4th of July ain't my Independence Day.
See, that was what we talked about, and then he
Not
said
mine.
it
Yeah.
is.
Yep.
He said we have to celebrate every day that we get off work.
That's right. But I'm not celebrating the 4th. I'm just celebrating the day off.
Okay.
But you know what? I'm celebrating staying safe
Me
because
too.
holidays breed crime. It breeds.
And it's a increased amount of crime on the holidays.
Increased.
But why is that? Statistically speaking, why does the holiday bring the criminals out in droves?
No, I'm waiting on Stacey.
No, you do. I'm thinking you about to say something.
I'm just so happy to hear you.
He's playing the violin.
Yeah.
He don't know how to
First
play.
and foremost, before we get into that, I want to definitely give a shout out to some of the people that took advantage of the promotion that we did last week.
All right.
And
So
some of those
excited
individuals
about
traveling.
that, yes.
Mr. Osea, Mrs. Steve, Mr. Brown, Mrs. Nunez, Mrs. Belcher, Mrs. Carpenter, Mr. Gabrielle, and I can go on and on.
Man, you got a lot of papers over there.
And that's a wonderful thing. And so some of these people are very, very proud, but I just want to give them a shout out because they understand how important it is to protect what matters most to them, which is their family and their home.
Yes.
And so getting back to what you guys were just saying a few minutes ago, when this time of the year comes around, people just lose their mind.
Mm-hmm.
They lose their mind for a few reasons. It's warm outside.
But it's warm yesterday and today. Now the 4th
Yeah.
brings about a different warm mind.
It's a different mindset, right? Alcohol infused, could potentially be drug infused. Not our believers. Not our believers though. And so
I don't know, Stacey. I went to a prayer vigil. The lady told me she was late because she had to go to the dispensary.
Don't judge her.
I did.
She probably had a medical card.
And there's a few things that go on, like some of the common things that happen during the 4th of July weekend is DUIs, DWIs, unfortunate domestic violence situations, assaults, crowded events, parades, and different things of that nature.
Did you know that the 4th of July has the highest increased amount of crime over any other holiday?
Yeah, absolutely, I do. I know that. And so that, and we're talking about why that reason is. I mean, because now you're talking about, a lot of people crammed in different locations, having a good time. Someone steps on somebody's foot, had too much to drink, and just don't know how to use some of those coping mechanisms to say, hey, my brother, my apologies.
Or when Uncle Drunk comes to the barbecue, forgets he's your uncle.
Uh-oh. Is that what happened?
It's going to happen tomorrow.
But those are just some of the common things that happen around the 4th of July. But we're going to say this year is hopefully going to be a situation where there's no issues whatsoever. Everybody going to go out, have a good time. And it's going to be our second coming to Juneteenth on tomorrow. We're not calling it the 4th. We're going to keep it moving.
There you go. Well, you know what? That's great in hope. But we got to put the plan in place so that the hope comes to fruition, right?
Of course.
So the plan is to always be prepared and not reactive. Well, and so preparedness means having a safety plan in place.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of times people think that it's too much for them to invest in their safety. And it really is not. No. When you start talking about less than $1.96 a day to protect what matters most to you, that's really cost effective.
I love it, Colonial. Come on, you gotta come through.
You know what? I'm your manager now. I'm with you on stage.
No, we're just saying that we really don't move forward protecting what matters most to us because we always think we can't afford to.
Yes.
But can you afford not to?
Can you afford to replace that TV that wasn't covered under your homeowner's insurance? Can you afford to replace your heirlooms? They're irreplaceable.
Can you get your peace of mind back? I'm always talking about peace of mind, because that's really one of the most important things that you can absolutely have when it comes to your family. You don't want your family member to experience certain things that they did not have to experience because you was concerned about $1.96 a day.
$1.96.
Somebody broke in my old house once and I moved. Because I just couldn't live there anymore. Just
you felt violated.
Yeah, somebody was in there.
But you know what? I want to transition to something that we have touched on, but not necessarily talked about in depth. But if you have a vacation home, or that's maybe out of the country or just in a different city or state than you are,
mm-hmm.
and you have a good security plan, you can see what's going on. And it might not always be because someone is intruding and becoming invasive in your home. It might be weather related. Like right now, we talked about the hurricane that's sweeping through the Caribbean. And quite frankly, I am concerned about it. But what lessens my concern is that I have cameras that I can see what's going on. Not that I can do anything, but I can prepare to do what's necessary.
Well, how great is that for you to be able to manage what's happening there from here?
Exactly.
You know, whether it's the cleaning crew going in, doing what they need to do, maintenance crew going in, doing what they need to do, that you have the ability to oversee that and manage that, you know, so you know where your dollars are going.
Exactly. Yeah. And on the flip side, you could be on vacation in your primary home.
Absolutely.
Be in danger of a weather emergency, right? And you're enjoying yourself and you don't know anything about it, and then you come home to a surprise. Well, guess what? That negates all the fun you just had.
It does. It does. And guys, question for you guys: what do you think of some of the top items that individuals look for and take out of the home when they break into someone's home?
All right, we're playing another game, Tammy. Get ready. Get ready.
This is it.
Oh Lord!
Ding, ding, ding! I'm gonna get
right,
this prize, people.
All right, jewelry.
Okay, bang, bang, bang.
Survey says, ding, ding, ding.
Yeah,
That's the number one answer.
That's one of the answers. Go ahead.
TVs.
Okay.
Computers.
Only one at a time, Jim Shoe.
Laptops.
So that would fall on electronics. But yeah,
Electronics.
Is that the number one answer?
It is.
Cash.
Number 2 answer.
Cash up.
I was the number one.
Come on.
I thought jewelry was number one.
Someone? No.
Clothes, shoes.
No.
In the hood, yes.
Oh, purses. Any kind of bags, designer items.
That's on, but that's the bottom of the list. But it's on there. What about personal identification and financial documents?
Well, yeah, because the scammers be scamming.
And people don't think about that because the passports, credit cards, bank statements can be used for identity theft or sold to others.
Oh, these criminals are getting real sophisticated.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you have a credit. So you know, I don't just want the TV. I want your credit line.
I want to be.
I want to build that credit line.
I want them just coming in and stealing the TV. Now they want your whole identity. Oh, my God.
Yeah, no, that's real. And of course, when you start talking about weapons, you know, definitely want to, you know,
right. I didn't think about
they're
that.
stealing guns, you know.
So what is the best way to secure your weapons? Because that's really important. If someone takes your weapon and then goes and commits a crime with that weapon, not only did you get stolen from, but now you've got possible litigation that you have to defend yourself.
You're absolutely correct. I had a client about 3 weeks ago. Is that for me?
Yeah.
Okay. I had a client about 3 weeks ago. We put a sensor on his gun cabinet. One on his gun cabinet, and then another one on his medicine cabinet. So you do have the ability to do that as well.
Oh, they steal prescription drugs.
Oh, absolutely. So prescription drugs is one of the ones on the list as
Viagra?
well. I don't know about that, but
So I got 10 points. You got 9.
No, I don't. I got 20 points. You got 3.
Well, you know what, Stacey? That was an interesting point that I think we got to take seriously.
Yes, we
And
do.
of course, I keep all of my personal documents in my home safe, you know, and so, but most people don't. They keep it under their mattress, or they keep it in a file cabinet somewhere, or sometimes
in their desk.
I was gonna say desk or sitting on the dresser, and it's harder to clean up identity theft than it is to replace a TV.
Cyber theft is the hardest thing to clear up. I know I was a victim of it.
And so, you know, your information is being sold on the black market. And a lot of times you'll get an alert. You know, I have the kind of credit protection where you get an alert if someone is trying to utilize your identity,
Correct.
Which is very, very important. And even with that, guys, spend $1 or something a month to protect your identity as well.
And you could do it right on your credit monitoring.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you don't have to necessarily get that because I've known some criminals who've told me, and they had all the protection, and we still got them. But those credit monitoring systems are very effective.
Well, here's the thing: even if they get you, a lot of times they will replace.
They do. But sometimes they don't, depending on how big the bounty was that the criminals. So we're gonna take some callers, right?
Oh, if they call in, we talking all things security. I mean, we know
security.
people rolling out, and so we want to make sure that they're definitely secure, no doubt about it.
All right. Definitely you want to call 866-447-3344, 866-447-3344. For those of you who are now, summertime is the best time, usually in the United States, to travel, right? And when you're traveling, you don't want to have to be burdened with the situation of how is my home being protected while I'm gone having a good time.
And this is that time of season, 4th of July, people start to travel starting now. Throughout the rest of the summer, just taking trips with their family, just you know, doing different things.
And criminals know it.
Of course they do. because we're so happy to post it.
Yeah, we definitely.
We want to floss. I'm in Cancun. Where you at?
At your house,
At
getting
your
your
house.
TV using your
Oh, you
identity.
didn't know? Your camera's not working? Oh, you didn't have any cameras. That's right.
Well, what I love about Stacey, and he only does it twice a year.
That's twice
he
a year.
offers promotions to the believers. And tell us about your summer promotion.
The summer promotion is like this: zero out-of-pocket investment to you. You can get the smart home technology that you're looking for, that you deserve, and we come out same day, next day, and we also are taking care of 2 months monitoring for you.
2 months.
Yeah.
And you know what? We encourage you to take that 2 months, put it in something, even if it's just in your mattress, and save it. Or put it in something that's interest bearing, because security has now turned into a different type of security.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how do they get that promotion?
They call 866-447-3344. Again, the number is 866-447-3344. Lastly, 866-447-3344.
You like saying those numbers, don't you?
I love numbers.
She know them numbers, don't
Right.
you?
Well, you know what? Because numbers, they're finite science. There's no ambiguity about numbers. It's factual. You cannot change the numbers, right? And the number one thing that you need to do besides trust God is secure your life's work, your life savings.
You know, before we get out of here, I always have to let the believers know about some things that have happened most recently. So
Because you can't make this up.
you can't make it up. So do we have time for that? Or
Of
You
course.
got about a minute and a half.
Okay.
Let's go.
It ain't gonna take a minute and a half. So had a client that reached out to me, and she ended up getting a system because some items were being taken off her back porch, and bikes taken out the garage, so on and so forth. So she put a camera in the garage, then she put a camera on the back. Right? Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
And put a camera on the back of the garage. And so when she went back to look at the video, she noticed it was the neighbor's child, who happened to be a police officer's child. Right? And so when she confronted the young man and said, "Why are you taking things from my home?" And she said, "I'm going to go reach out and go talk to your father." She said, "You can talk to my father if you want to. He's a police officer. He's going to get me off anyway." And she was just really taken aback by the boldness of this young person, who happened to be about 13 years of age, right? Feeling like they were untouchable. So she did, in fact, reach out to the father, who really just he chastised the kid a little bit, but that was pretty much it, and said, whatever he took for you, we'll return it, but please don't,
Report it.
Please don't report it, because it could be a situation on my job, whatever the case.
And so what did she do? Did she not report it? She honored the neighbor?
She honored the neighbor. She said the neighbor.
Did you tell our sister to call me?
Oh, my
Let
God.
me tell you why.
Why?
Because when I first opened my first school, I had a nice fence we decorated with all the leaders, the Black leaders,
Mhm.
and it was a sanctuary for criminals to go and play and count their money.
Mhm.
And so I called the police, and I was going to give them a pass, and my cousin Gina said, "No, they're criminals. Put them in jail," because it stopped them from coming back.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you got to stop that behavior, particularly when you're trying to train up a child.
Unfortunately, and if Jarrell was in here, he'd be saying, "Don't you call the police on no black kid." And so I had to say it for him. But I will say this in our exit. Moni, shout out to our listeners who listen on the crystal clear iHeartRadio app.
Yes.
Because they came online to comment to say that they couldn't hear Stacey a little on the radio. So that's how we got that fixed. Shout out Moni. And Moni said, "Did you see the two porch pirates fighting over stealing the package on camera?" But we're going to talk about that next week.
Yeah.
But listen, believers, tomorrow we'll be here playing all of those hits and
Yes.
celebrating our
4th of July. And then we're going to leave it like that. Whatever else you make of it is yours to make. But in the meantime, we're going to make it on out of here. And of course, we always want to encourage you to keep Love 24 alive. Tell someone that you don't know, a perfect stranger, that you love them, and show someone that you do know how much you love them. Lead with love, land on love. I love you, Action Jackson.
I love you, Tamara Fair. We love you, believers.
Baby Eminem, we love you too. And up next is your boy, AC Green. Right after that is Pastor Patterson on the drive home. We do it all night long, right here on Inspiration 1390. Y'all have a wonderful 4th of July and stay optimistic.
All night
Woo!
long.
All night.
We did all night long. That's what
All
Tatum-
night long.
I can't believe I was late getting you a donut and you wouldn't eat it.
I'll eat it.
She didn't want-
Listen,
She didn't want
guys.
to do it on the air.
Peer pressure.
Thank
You
you
leave nuts
so.
on the air yesterday.
That was different. That was with them nuts.
You know
That was
what?
so different.
Bye, y'all.
Bye,
I'll let you
Tina.
talk to Tammy.
So Tina says happy Juneteenth part 2.
Right.
See you guys.
What up? What up? What up?
Bye. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. We won't be live tomorrow, but we will be live back on Friday. So see you on Friday on all social media platforms. If you're on us and you haven't liked us, go ahead and like us. We promise to love you back. Peace.
Stacey.